Your salary hits your account, and somehow by the 10th of the month, you're wondering where it all went. That's not a discipline problem, it's a systems problem, and today we're going to be fixing it. Hey, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Adura, and on this channel, I share everything that I'm learning about money, budgeting, saving, investing, all the good stuff. I'm not a financial advisor, just a girl who's passionate about personal finance. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that I think is the backbone of any good personal finance habit, which is budgeting. Specifically, the needs first method, which is the one I actually use and which I think makes the most sense to it. But before we start, I think we need to address one of the most important things about budgeting, which is understanding your financial baseline. I see many people build budgets that fail or complain about having to dig into their savings consistently, and it's because of a lack of understanding of their actual numbers. Before you can budget anything, you need to know your numbers, and not a rough guess, not a feeling. You need to know your actual numbers. Step one is understanding your monthly income. So you need to write down everything you bring in monthly: your salary, your side hustles, any consistent income that you receive monthly. You need to write it down. Step two, your expenses, every single one: rent, data, transport, utilities, family obligations. Write them all down. And a step that most people skip when it comes to writing their expenses, and I think is very important, is including a miscellaneous fee. Life is very unpredictable, especially in Nigeria. Whether it's a repair, an emergency, so you need to build that in your budget from the start so it doesn't destroy your plans when it arrives. So this total, your total income minus your total expenses plus miscellaneous fund, is your financial baseline, and it tells you exactly where you stand. Most people who do this exercise for the first time are very surprised by where they stand, and it's so important for you to know where you actually stand. If not, you just be planning to fail and wondering why your budget doesn't work when you don't actually account for all your expenses or miscellaneous fees. Now, you've probably heard of the 50-30-20% rule. 50% needs, 30% wants, and 20% savings. And honestly, it's not a bad framework. And if your income is stable and it actually fits into the 50%, perfect. But here's the problem. If you earn 150,000 in Lagos, your rent alone might take 40 to 50% of that. That means the 50-30-20% rule was not designed for you. And on the other end, if you earn roughly around 700,000 and you are capping your needs at 50%, you are grossly undersaving and overspending on wants without even realizing it. The 50-30-20% rule gives you a percentage, but it doesn't actually tell you if those percentages are working for your life. So what actually works? This is a method that I personally use, and I have coined the needs first method. It's a method that basically meets you where you are and is personalized for your income and expenses. It's simple. Give every naira a job before it arrives or before you spend it. So here's how it works. You list out all your needs and you prioritize them from the most important to the least important. Notice how I said prioritize and not just list, because if money gets tight, you know what to pay first. Step two, decide your savings before you touch anything else. So I always used to hear the term pay yourself first, but I feel like I never really fully understand it up until recently. Pay yourself first does not mean you receive your salary and immediately you pay yourself, or you go out and you enjoy, or you do whatever. Pay yourself means after you have removed the amount you actually need to survive, that's your baseline for survival, the amount you need for your rent, your food, your utilities, the core essentials. Paying yourself first means removing a particular percentage or amount to save for your future self. And this is an important step that most people often do backwards. They save what's left after spending rather than saving what's left before spending. The needs first budgeting method says save first and live on what's left. And here's what your saving does. Besides the naira amount, it actually tells you what your financial health is looking like. It tells you where you are and it tells you what you need to improve on. If you're someone that earns 200,000, 300,000, and after a month you're only able to save 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, that's information because it tells you that you need to grow your income. So start thinking about skills, side income, what can you offer that earns more? If after your needs you see that you are able to save more than 30% of your salary, that's also information because it tells you that you are in the position to invest more. Your savings percentage becomes your personal wealth indicator and not a rule someone else made for you. Step 3, your wants. Now, me personally, I'm a big believer in enjoyment, but I also believe that there's a time and season for everything. So, after you removed your needs, your miscellaneous fee, and your actual savings from your income, whatever is left goes to your wants. This goes to eating out, paying for subscriptions, doing whatever you want to do. But one thing you should note is that even if your wants budget is small at this time, it's fine. It's a season you are building. You should just inform you that you need to increase your income so that you can enjoy more. So now on to making it work. Knowing the method is one thing, making it work is another thing. So here are the things that actually matter when you're building a budget that sticks. First, list your expenses and prioritize. I already mentioned this, but it is worth repeating. You need to know what your actual core expenses are. And note, your rent, your food is not the same thing as buying a clothes, buying shoes every other weekend. Second thing is to separate your account. This is a mistake I see people make often. You're telling me you are saving in the same account as your expense account where you're transferring from, where you're using your card payments from. That's a system that is designed to fail. If you want to build a successful budget, you need to make sure that you are separating the accounts that you use for your day-to-day expenses from the accounts that you use for your actual savings. Your savings cannot live where you spend. You need to physically separate the money. Personally, I'm a big believer in saving where you can also get returns, which is why I do not even advise leaving your money in the bank. You need to use platforms that give you a return on your money. So as you are working, even if the money is little or if your money is a lot, you need to make sure that your money is also working for you. Third, plan for miscellaneous. And I said this earlier, but I actually mean it. You don't know just how much it would help your budget if you dedicate a set amount every month as a miscellaneous fee, because once you have that set amount, if anything comes up, it doesn't disrupt your budget. Once there's a disruption to your budget, it affects every other thing. So when you have a miscellaneous fee, it allows you to build a budget for the unexpected. And one thing that actually happens to me is anytime I fall sick, there's a month where I have malaria or I need to buy medicine or I need to buy tablets or anything like that, having that miscellaneous fee allows me not to disrupt the rest of my budget. The fourth thing I'll actually urge you to include when you're building your budget is also making room for an emergency fund. This is separate from your wants or your actual savings. This is 3 to 6 months of living expenses just in case of anything. We live in a country or society or world where anything can happen at any moment, especially with layoffs in tech, or you can fall sick, anything can happen. So it's a very good habit to start building an emergency fund. So you should also include this category when you are planning for your budget. The fifth thing will be to review and adjust regularly. Life changes, income changes, expenses changes. So you need to know how to review and adjust your budget regularly. It's a living thing. A budget that doesn't get reviewed stops being a budget. It's just basically positive thinking. Let me be real with you for a second because I think this matters. The average Nigerian salary sits somewhere between 250 to 300,000 a month, and you know that number does not stretch as far as it sounds. Rent, food, data, family obligations that everybody has but nobody talks about. Budgeting in Nigeria is not the same as budgeting in a country where your expenses is just a fraction of your income. The needs first method here works because it doesn't pretend that your life fits into some foreign rule of 50, 30, 20, and if you're not achieving that, then you're already failing or anything like that. It starts with your reality, your income, your actual expenses, and it builds from there, and that's what makes it very honest. Okay, so let's bring it together. Your financial baseline, your income, your expenses, your miscellaneous fee, your savings, and your wants, in that order every time. Save before you spend on what? Give every naira a job. Savings percentage becomes your wealth indicator. So how much you can afford to save allows you to know what your financial standing is and how you can also work towards improving it. Core tips that I think everyone should pay attention to is to build your emergency fund, separate your account, plan for the unexpected, review your budget regularly, and tell your money where it should go before it decides for itself. Next week, we're going to be getting into savings versus investing because they are genuinely not the same thing. And investing is a topic that I am very, very passionate about. I believe that if you are not investing, you are just wasting your time. And let me know which of the budgeting steps is the hardest for you. Is it that your needs are so overwhelming? Is it that you struggle to save? Is it that you cannot stop yourself from overspending the amount that you allocated for your wants? Just let me know. I read the comments and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Also, if anybody has any tips or any useful information that might help all of us on how to budget and actually stick to our budget, please let us know in the comment section. If you got to this part of this video, please give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.